There's a moment in life where you realize something terrifying. You've been holding on to things that are slowly killing you. It creeps in quietly, an old grudge, a memory of betrayal, a missed opportunity. And you think, if I let this go, what's left of me? It feels like you're giving up a piece of your soul by letting go, doesn't it? But let me tell you something, and you better hear it. Not everything deserves to stay with you. Not everything was meant to be carried for this long. You hold on to pain like it owes you something, but it doesn't. You hold on to people who left long ago, hoping they'll return. They won't. You carry guilt over mistakes you made, thinking if you suffer enough it'll fix the past. But it won't. This world taught you that holding on means strength, but it lied to you. Holding on to everything? That's not strength. That's fear. Fear of losing. Fear of being forgotten. Fear that if you let go, you'll have nothing left. And I get it. It's hard to let go. It feels like giving up control. But listen to me. Sometimes letting go is the only way to take back control of your life. Think about it. How many things are you holding on to right now? Be honest. The people who hurt you. The failures you can't stop replaying in your mind. The love you gave, but never got back. It's heavy, isn't it? And every time you try to move forward, you feel that weight pulling you back, like dragging chains. You think to yourself, if I let this go, I'll lose what little I have left. But here's the truth. The things you hold on to, they're not keeping you grounded. They're keeping you trapped. You've been dragging the past behind you for years, haven't you? It's the reason why you're exhausted all the time. It's why, no matter how hard you try, you feel stuck, paralyzed. You think you're holding on because it's too valuable to let go. But what if the real reason is that you're scared to face what's next? Letting go isn't soft. It isn't about pretending you're fine or ignoring what happened. It's about looking your demons dead in the eye and saying, you don't own me anymore. It's not about erasing your past. It's about refusing to let your past dictate your future. You've been fighting the wrong battle all this time, haven't you? You thought you had to hold on to the anger, the pain, the disappointments, thinking it would make you stronger. But it didn't make you stronger. It made you bitter. It made you cold. And here's the hardest part to accept. You've been hurting yourself more than anyone else ever did. They left, and you stayed. They moved on, and you stayed. But the one thing you refuse to leave behind is the pain. Letting go isn't about forgetting. It's not about pretending you weren't hurt. It's about choosing freedom over suffering. And let me tell you, freedom, it doesn't come cheap. It takes guts. It takes a fight. You've been holding on for so long, the pain has become part of who you are. You wear it like a second skin. You've convinced yourself that without it, you'll be lost. You say things like, this is just who I am now. But deep down, you know it's not true. You weren't born to live with all this weight. But somewhere along the way, you started believing that pain was proof you survived. You thought holding on to anger, regret, and sorrow was a way to keep control. But the truth is, the longer you hold on, the more you lose yourself. You've been carrying it for so long, it's become your story. But let me ask you this. Are you proud of the story you're writing? Holding on to everything comes at a price. It costs you sleep. It costs you peace. It costs you relationships, joy, and the chance to be free. You think you're keeping things in control, but every day, it slips further away. You replay conversations that ended years ago. You wait for apologies that will never come. And all that time you spend holding on is time you could be living. But you're not living, are you? You're surviving. Let me tell you something. The cost of holding on is much higher than the cost of letting go. And if you don't learn to let it go, it will break you. Slowly, quietly, until there's nothing left but regret. Letting go is terrifying, but it's also necessary. It's not a moment. It's a decision you make every single day. It starts small. You stop replying to that toxic text message. You forgive yourself for not being perfect. You stop waiting for the apology you'll never get. And every time you do, you get a little lighter, a little freer. The chains get weaker, the weight starts to lift, and you realize something incredible. You didn't need any of it. Not to survive, not to thrive. Because the truth is, you are more than what happened to you. You are more than your failures, your heartbreaks, your mistakes. And the only thing holding you back is the belief that you need to carry it all. When you finally let go, something amazing happens. You make room for new things, better things. You start to breathe again. You realize that life isn't about collecting scars. It's about learning, growing, and moving forward, even when it hurts. Letting go isn't about forgetting where you came from. It's about choosing not to stay there. It's about realizing that some people, some memories, and some pain don't deserve space in your heart anymore. So here's the truth you need to hear. Not everything deserves to be held on to. Not every memory deserves to stay. Not every person belongs in your story. It's okay to let go. In fact, it's necessary. Because if you keep holding on, you'll lose yourself in the process. And the world doesn't need a version of you that's buried under old pain. It needs the version of you that's free, unapologetically free. So let it go. Let go of the anger. Let go of the regret. Let go of the weight that's been holding you down. Not everything was meant to stay with you. And that's okay. Here's a reality check. You don't have all the time in the world to let go. There's this lie we tell ourselves, that tomorrow will give us another chance to release what weighs us down. That we can carry it just one more day. Just one more month. But days turn into years, and before you know it, you've built a life out of the things you were supposed to let go of. The truth is harsh. The longer you hold on, the harder it becomes to let go. You make excuses. I'll forgive them tomorrow. I'll stop thinking about it eventually. But eventually never comes, does it? And the longer you hold on, the deeper the roots grow. Until you can't tell where the pain ends and you begin. Until the anger becomes second nature. Until sorrow feels more familiar than peace. Don't wait until it's too late. Because one day, you'll look back, and the things you held on to will have taken more from you than anything else ever could. Don't let that happen. Letting go isn't just about releasing memories or pain. It's also about walking away from people. And that's the hardest part, isn't it? There are people in your life right now who no longer belong there. They had their place once. Maybe they were a friend, a lover, or someone you thought would always stand by you. But not everyone you start with is meant to finish with you. And that's okay. But holding on to them out of guilt or fear, that's not okay. You owe it to yourself to walk away from the people who keep pulling you back. The ones who only call when they need something. The ones who never clap for your success. The ones who drain your energy but never fill you with any hope. Letting go of people isn't about hating them. It's about choosing yourself. And there's nothing selfish about that. You can love someone and still walk away. You can care about someone and still know they don't belong in your life anymore. Some people are only chapters in your book, not the whole story. And that's perfectly fine. Just make sure you know when to close the chapter and move on. Sometimes, letting go isn't even a choice. Sometimes, life rips things away from you. People walk out without warning. Opportunities vanish before you even get a chance to grab them. And you're left standing there, broken, holding on to the pieces of what could have been. It's unfair, isn't it? It feels cruel. But here's a truth that's hard to swallow. What leaves you was never meant to stay. Life has a way of teaching you the lessons you don't want to learn. It forces your hand when you refuse to let go on your own. And it hurts like hell. But that pain? It's temporary. What's permanent is the growth that comes afterward. You see, life will keep stripping away the things that no longer serve you until you're left with only what matters. It's brutal, but it's necessary. And the sooner you accept that, the easier it becomes to release what wasn't meant for you. There comes a point where you have to look at everything you've been carrying. The grudges, the heartbreak, the guilt. and decide, no more. No more letting anger dictate your life. No more waiting for people to treat you the way you deserve. No more carrying regrets that don't change a damn thing. That moment, that's your power. Because the second you say no more, you take back control. Control over your mind, your emotions, your future. You've been carrying burdens that were never yours to bear. You've been holding on to promises that were never kept. But the moment you say no more, you become unstoppable. Because no one and nothing has power over you unless you let it. When you let go of the things that don't deserve to stay, you make room for something incredible. You, the real you. Not the version of you that's buried under regret, not the version that's shackled to the past, but the you that's free, the you that's whole. Because here's the thing. You can't become who you were meant to be until you release who you no longer are. You're not that failure. You're not that broken relationship. You're not the mistake you made 5 years ago. You are what you choose to be. Right now, in this moment. And if you choose to let go, you can become unstoppable. But it takes courage. It takes effort. It takes waking up every day and choosing to let go over and over again until it becomes second nature. And when you do, that's when you start to see who you were always meant to be. It's not easy. It's not quick. But it's worth it. Because on the other side of letting go, there's peace, there's strength, and there's freedom like you've never known before. Not everything deserves to be held on to. Not every memory. Not every person. Not every regret. Some things were meant to pass through your life, not stay in it. Let them go. And when you do, you'll realize something powerful. You never needed them to become who you are. You were always enough. You just didn't know it yet. Now it's time to live like you do. That's all. I'm out. By the way, if you want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Until next time.